If your PMP exam is coming up soon, then you're in the right place, because in today's video, we're going to practice exam questions so that you can get into the mindset of how to problem solve and apply the mindset of a servant leader. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alvin, also known as Alvin the PM, and I'm a project manager who recently passed my PMP exam, scoring above target in all domains. And on this channel, I'm here to share weekly practice questions, quizzes, and tutorials to help you become certified in project management. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and smash that like button so you don't miss out on any of my future upcoming videos. Also, don't forget to enroll in my free 5-day Master Your PMP Exam Bootcamp course, where we go over the fundamentals of how to pass the PMP exam, how to answer every single question correctly, and mastering the fundamentals of Agile 101. So if you want to get started on your PMP journey the right way and learn from someone who has been through the exact journey as you, make sure you sign up for my free course over at alvinthepm.com/bootcamp. So let's get started with question 1. A disagreement has occurred between two team members on your project regarding resource priorities and constraints. To prevent this from derailing the project, what should the project manager do next? A. Escalate the conflict to management for support. B. Hold a meeting to brainstorm ways to prioritize resources. C. Meet with each team member to better understand the situation. Or D. Make the decision for the team members on the path forward. If you chose C, then you're correct. This question is asking what is the next thing that the project manager should do. If you think about what the question is asking, it's asking yourself, there is a disagreement or some kind of conflict between two team members on your team. So in other words, what is the very first thing that you should do to resolve this conflict? You first want to understand the context of the conflict by first meeting individually with each team member in person before you take any kind of action. Remember, you never take action first. You need to evaluate and assess the background first. Key emphasis on this. So let's review each answer choice. For A, you never escalate to management right away for resolving some kind of conflict. Especially in real life, do you immediately go right away to your manager or the project sponsor? No, right? You first want to understand what exactly is going on between the two members who are disagreeing with each other. For B, holding a meeting to brainstorm how best to prioritize resources sounds feasible, but again, this is not the very first thing that you would do. For choice D, you do not make a decision for the team. You have to work with your team to discuss ways on how to proceed with the next steps. Therefore, the best answer choice is choice C. As an exam tip, the best answer choice here embodies a servant leadership approach, focusing on in-person collaboration and communication. Question 2. The vendor has communicated that there may potentially be a delay with delivering parts to your team due to equipment issues they are experiencing. What should the project manager do to address this? A. Submit a change request to update the schedule baseline. B. Decrease the risk by offering team support. C. Collaborate with the vendor and team to discuss ways for mitigating the risk. Or D. Update the issue log and assign a team member to own the mitigation plan. If you chose C, then you're correct. For choice A, you do not want to immediately update your schedule baseline, since it is only known at this time that this is a risk. The vendor has communicated that there may be potentially a schedule delay. The risk has not come to fruition, and it's not yet an issue. So again, choice A is completely wrong and incorrect. For choice B, how does offering team support address and mitigate the risk of schedule delays? There is a better answer choice than choice B. Moving on to choice D, the scenario in this question is not an issue, but a risk. So choice D can be eliminated. Again, as I mentioned before, really take the time to make sure you can identify if the question is asking you between an issue and a risk. If you can quickly identify that, then you will be able to very easily use a process of elimination and determine what the correct answer is, whether it's an issue or a risk. Question 3. Product management has requested additional features to be included in the mechanical design of the product. Unfortunately, making these design updates will extend the project schedule and require additional resources and funding to support this. What should the project manager do? A. Obtain approval from the project sponsor. B. Obtain alignment, buy-in, and support from the team members. C. Submit a change request to obtain approval from the change control board. Or D. Update the project schedule and acquire resources from other departments. Pause the video and take the time to use the process of elimination to figure out which answer you think is correct. If you chose C, then you're correct. For this question, it's asking you what should you do as a project manager. If you couldn't tell from the question, this is following a predictive waterfall approach, which means that you'll likely be following some type of process to manage potential updates to the schedule and requesting additional resources. So the first thing you should ask yourself is, what is the best answer which follows the best practices of an ideal project manager? For predictive projects, anytime there are change requests from other team members, you must create and submit a change request and obtain approval from the change control board. Remember, no change can be implemented into the project without obtaining the CCB approval. It is not the sponsor, and it's not your team member's approval that you need. Therefore, the best answer which aligns with this process is choice C. And by the way, if you're getting a lot of value out of today's video, and to make sure you don't miss out on any of my future upcoming PMP videos to help you pass your PMP exam, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and smash that like button. Let's go on to question 4. 2 lead engineers on your team have notified you and management that he will be going on family leave and extended time off for the next several months. To prevent this risk of scheduled delays, you have worked proactively with management to assign other resources to take over and lead the engineering activities of the project. As a project manager, what risk response strategy did you use? A. Avoid. B. Mitigate. C. Accept. Or D. Transfer. Pause the video and take the time to review the answer choices carefully, and then we'll go through it together. The correct answer is A. This may seem like a really tricky question because it's very wordy and convoluted, but remember, focus on what exactly the question is asking you. We're being asked, what risk response strategy would you use to prevent these schedule delays? To master these types of questions, applying your knowledge of risk management makes sure you understand and can apply what each type of risk response strategy means. In this scenario, was the risk reduced or was it completely eliminated? The question states that other resources have been assigned to take over and lead the engineering activities. This indicates that the risk of potential schedule delays for supporting engineering work has been completely eliminated. Therefore, choice B is incorrect. Since the risk was not transferred to a third-party vendor, transfer is not the correct risk response strategy used in this scenario. Therefore, choice D is also incorrect. You also are not passively accepting the consequences of the schedule delay, and you're trying to figure out ways to prevent this from impacting your project. So therefore, choice C is also incorrect, and the best answer solving this question is choice A. Question 5. Your team has completed all project activities and obtained confirmation and validation that the final product meets the customer's acceptance criteria. To close out the project, what should you do next as a project manager? A. Hand off the project to the operations team. B. Reassign team members to other projects. C. Archive project documents and identify lessons learned. D. Close out vendor contracts. For this question, if you chose C, then you're correct. This question can be tricky, especially if you have trouble recalling all the different events which take place during the closing phase of a project. But remember, this only applies specifically to the predictive waterfall projects. On your exam, you may expect to see a question asking you details about the activities for closing out a project. And when it does, keep this in mind. This question here is specifically asking you what should you do next. So make sure you focus on the very first thing that you would perform. The first thing that you would do is archive documents and update lessons learned. Handing over the project to the operations team sounds like a feasible answer. However, remember, you're likely to do this downstream after you've archived documents and captured lesson learned, so choice A can be eliminated. Choice B, reassignment of team members, is typically one of the last activities which takes place along with the transfer to operations, so choice B can be crossed out. Also, keep in mind that the closeout of vendor contracts occurs during control procurement process, which takes place during the monitoring and controlling phase. So therefore, choice D is also incorrect. I have a quick question of the day for you, and leave me a comment down below. How did you score on today's quiz? Rewatch today's video and see if you can understand how I applied my own mindset with solving these practice questions. Rewatch today's video to understand how I applied my own problem-solving mindset to answer these types of questions. Remember, if I can do it, and if you can apply yourself to these questions, then you can do this in no time and you will become a certified project management professional. And so I hope you gain a lot of value out of today's video. If you want to see more weekly quizzes and tutorials to help you pass your PMP exam on your first try, make sure you subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. Until next time, it's Alvin the PM helping you become certified in project management, and I'll see you in next week's video.